Righty then, man. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Last night, AEW had what, in my opinion, was probably the most successful and the most memorable pay-per-view in their history. And for me, it's probably the most exciting pay-per-view that I've seen in a long time. I hadn't been this excited, this hype about wrestling in a while. I mean, granted, WWE, saying I never forget the memories and whatever. And I would never, I just never forget the memories that I had with WWE, games and television. You know what I'm saying? But we live in a different era now where professional wrestling actually feels like professional wrestling again. And last night at AEW's All Out pay-per-view, I felt like I was watching WrestleMania 17 all over again for me. You know what I'm saying? Because that was like one of my pay-per-views with WWE when I was just so excited. Like afterwards, I just couldn't wait to see the Raw, the follow-up show afterwards and whatnot. Yeah, it was crazy last night. And I'm sure that you probably heard by now. I also put a video up on the channel about the ending of the pay-per-view, which is probably the most exciting part of it, as it should. I mean, guys, we had some amazing matches last night. Yesterday, before the show began, I uploaded a video about my predictions on the show, who winners and losers and whatnot. And today we just gonna go over the match card from last night, talk about some things. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you down with WWE, you down with the wrestling talk or whatever, then you in the right place. Don't forget to like the video and tell me what you think about this man right here, alongside Adam Cole, baby. You know what I'm saying? Showing up in the same night. Dude, the possibilities, the matches, fantasy booking at its finest, as Rage King would say. We got everything we need to make pro wrestling great again. And there have been some words, and let me just go ahead and get that out here, get this out. Vince McMahon sent a text out to all his creative this morning, holding an emergency meeting. And basically, WWE are officially regrouping right now. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know last night I was so excited after everything went down on with AEW. I told myself, I was like, bro, I don't want to watch WWE again, because WWE has a history here lately of disappointing the fans rather than giving the fans what we want. So yeah, but being as we see that AEW has them shook, that we might get to see some things coming out of WWE. And so yeah, I'll definitely keep my eye on them. You know what I mean? But as far as right now, what my want and my needs are being fulfilled at, or AEW, and I can't wait to see what's gonna happen on Dynamite this Wednesday, Rampage Friday, Dark. I'm all over it, dude. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right on into the review last night. It started the night off with the Best Friends and Jurassic Express taking on the Hardy Family Office, man. Now, this match, I predicted that the Hardy Family Office was going to take it, just because of the simple fact, you know what I'm saying, Matt Hardy is, yeah, I don't know why. I'm down with all these teams, you know what I'm saying? But I just had a feeling that Matt Hardy's team was going to take it. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been on a losing streak or whatnot, and you can kind of see that they're trying to get that win back, get back on track and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I kind of figured that they were going to take it last night, but they did not take it last night, and they lost. But the only thing that came out of this, if some people would say, I guess, if you were excited, if you're a fan of Butcher and the Blade, and Butcher made his return last night, I don't know, that wasn't exciting for anybody at all. I mean, the match itself was okay. They gave it a B, a grade of B. I think that's right, just about right, considering that Jungle Boy and the Jurassic Express and the Best Friends are so over. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Butcher made his return and they pounded out Orange Cassidy, whatnot, and they were looking like they were going to try to cut his hair off, whatnot. So we could be seeing some possible hair match here in the future or whatever between these two groups or whatnot, I guess. But all in all, man, I mean, I guess it was a good match, to kick off the pay-per-view and whatever. But that was on the pre-show. The match that kicked off the pay-per-view was Miro and Kingston for the TNT Championship. Now, this was a good match. Up until I believe the end, where I believe Miro would use a low blow. He used a low blow in order to assist him in beating Eddie Kingston and whatnot, and he retained his title. But after being such a dominant force, I believe that a low blow was probably like the cheap way to go. I can understand that they wanted to want to keep Eddie looking strong in this rivalry or whatever, and we might get a rematch considering how it went down for sure, But yeah, I'd like to see Miro get an actual victory over Eddie Kingston or vice versa. But I want to see it done the way that the AEW has delivered these kind of matches prior to this one. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep that. Let's matches, ended in pinfall, but let's not have any ridiculous, whatever. I understand that Miro, it fits the character. It may have fit the character as a heel or whatever, but it's Miro. The man's a tank. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that he needs to use underhanded tactics like that against somebody like Eddie Kingston. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good match. I enjoyed it. They gave it a grade of B+. I think that's spot on. You know what I'm saying? Pretty good. Moving on to our next match. Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. Now, they gave this an A-. I would have chunked this up as a B+ as well. It didn't go on too long. It was about like 12 minutes long, somewhere around there. And it was a pretty good match. You know what I'm saying? I think this probably maybe the first or second time that I actually saw Kojima in the match. I didn't recognize him when I talked about him in that other video, but I went back and I looked and I was like, oh, okay, and I remember him. I've seen a match or two with him before in New Japan and whatnot, and GCW and stuff. And I mean, it was okay. I for me, and that's just because I'm not all that big I'm not high up on Moxley like that. They gave it an A and whatnot, and I would at least gave it a B+. I mean, it was a good match, considering, especially afterwards when Minoru Suzuki. Now I know him, and I know how crazy he is, and that's gonna be good to see a match between Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley this Wednesday coming up on Dynamite. So y'all might want to tune in and see that, because it's gonna be pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But this was a good match, man. It was okay. John got the win. Had to hit 2 paradigm shifts on the man to keep him down. But yeah, man, I love watching Japanese wrestlers wrestle, man. They know how to. They got that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the way they deliver their performance that captivates me, and I enjoy seeing this match for what it was. But I definitely enjoy what happened afterwards when Minoru Suzuki showed up and got in Jon Moxley's face. And so, yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing that match right there this Wednesday. Our next match went on to be for the AEW's Women's Championship, and it had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander. This match I would have gave a B-. One, because it feels, when I watch Britt Baker in a match, and I don't know if anybody else feels this, but for me, when I watch Britt Baker in a match, she's not as fluent as I believe she is. She may have put on one hell of a match with Thunder Rosa, and maybe because there was some kind of chemistry there, but she reminds me of Charlotte Flair when she's wrestling in the ring. How they go for moves, but it kind of looks janky when they go to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think she can use some work. You know what I mean? As far as, she's good. Don't get me wrong, but she's good like Charlotte Flair's good. But I don't know if it's the people they're working with or whatnot, or them trying to read each other in the ring and to figure out what, or not figure out, but to see how they're getting ready to do the next move. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good match. As far as it was, Chris Statlander got the chance to show off some of her strength against Britt Baker. Britt Baker got the chance to show off some of her cunning against Chris Statlander and whatnot. But in the end, it would go to see that after a curb stomp to the outside of the ring, and then a curb stomp on the inside of the ring, you know what I'm saying? Britt Baker was able to lock in the lockjaw and get the pin, get the submission, which I think that Chris Statlander was probably out. So she didn't necessarily tap, but nonetheless, she was unresponsive. So she lost. You know what I mean? Now, moving on to this next match. And for me, this had to be probably the hypest match I had seen. Everything else was good. You know what I mean? But this match right here, I knew that this match was going to blow the roof off the place, nigga. Oh, I'm so excited. My bad. Dude. The Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And, bro, I told everybody, I called this one. This is one of my predictions that I was right on. I was right on quite a few of them last night. So far, I'd be 3 for 2 because I chose Matt Hardy. They lost. That's one loss. I said Miro was gonna win. I said that Britt Baker was gonna win, and I also said that what was that? I called Satoshi, I believe, was gonna beat John Moxley. So yeah, at this moment I was 3 for 2. Yeah, I think that 3 for 2 I was. Yeah, it's one, boom, boom. Yeah. So I was 3 for 2 at this moment tonight. So the Lucha Brothers, man, they came out there. They had a written song that they had been played down to the ring by a band. I didn't even catch the name. But the song they were playing was written. It was low. It had incorporated the Zero Medio, phrase in there, and he talked about the Lucha Brothers, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon and whatnot, and the song was written for them. You know what I mean? And it's good to know that people don't, the AEW, they're not wasting money on that kind of stuff and not actually paying it off. That's in my opinion, because I know that WWE will hire Snoop Dogg to escort Sasha Banks down to the ring, and she fucking loses. You know what I'm saying? And like, why the hell would you pay that much money just to have her lose? To hell with that. You know what I mean? So, Lucha Bros come out there, man. I'm talking about high flying, super kicks and whatnot. It even got to the point where the Young Bucks pulled out a fucking Air Force One with thumbtacks on the bottom of it and just super kicking this Lucha Bros in the face, blood just dripping from under the mask and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, we get a super kick sequence. Kick here, flip up, kick up, kick. Say, bruh. It all ended and culminated with the Lucha Bros hitting they tag team move and capturing that goal, bro. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? It's been a while since you actually been able to throw your hands up in your living room. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was excited, man, and I knew that they was taking home that goal last night. It was only fair and logical that it was going to go down that way, just for the simple fact that one, they alumni pretty much in the company. And your Young Bucks have been champions since pretty much earlier this year and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This rivalry, it has been something to, that's been historic for a long time between these two teams. And not to mention that the Lucha Bros have fought all the way from the bottom until this moment to earn that title shot. They are now, I believe, 11-0 in the division and the tag team champions. Yeah, bro. It was well worth it. It was a damn good match. I was giving this an A+. Look, and it's just exactly what they gave it. An A plus. This was a good match, man. I enjoyed it a lot. Now, moving on to the women's battle royale, which is I think I watched the first one. I don't know if they presented it like this the last time, but now they presented it different this time. But my guess is the first time I watched it, paid attention to it. But they introduced the women in the suites of the card deck, like use ace, spades, diamonds, hearts, and yeah, our Joker's wild Joker was Ruby Soho. And a couple of weeks ago, I had seen a package for her. She missed her train. And on the back of her jacket, it just said destination, and the destination was blank. She showed up last night as the Joker's Wild in the match, in the Battle Royale match. And this match was where I also lost, because I chose Thunder Rosa. But I don't feel like I completely lost, because Thunder Rosa was the second to her. It was down to Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho, and it was a good little bout between them. I'd love to see those two go at it again, but in the end, eventually Ruby Soho came out with the victory, and she ended up knocking Thunder Rosa off the edge of the match after they were both struggling on the outside of it for a little bit. And yeah, Ruby Soho is the Casino Battle Royale winner, and she will be facing Britt Baker, I'm thinking, at Full Gear, which is November 13th, by the way. I'm sitting here promoting like I actually work for AEW, but that's me remembering these dates, because this company is exciting, and I think they're going to be great. But they gave the Battle Royale a B. It was okay. Some of the guys, it was as expected. It was good to see all of their talent in the ring, but I think that what the problem was that there were so many storylines in that ring that there was not really a focus. It was just a melee, just a big female melee brawl, and whatever happened. This is the time to get something out. This was it. Go out there, and people were getting in the ring and jumping and getting eliminated immediately. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like they hurry up, boom, boom, boom. Okay, elimination. Top stars, put on your spots. You know what I'm saying? Okay, move on to the next segment. Eliminate. Down to the last two. Ruby Soho was your winner. It was a good match. It was okay. Gave it a B. That's decent. Going on to MJF and Jericho. And I don't know what it is about this match, man. I enjoy Chris Jericho. He will always be a fan favorite and whatnot. And I did enjoy how MJF had come out there with Jericho's old music, the Y2J clock counting down, because Jericho pretty much made his debut on Raw, which was pretty much his big break in his life when he got to WWE or whatnot. He came through with Jericho clock down. Yeah. So MJF spoofed that, come out there in his robe and whatnot and get in the ring. MJF, in my opinion, dude, he's a despicable heel, but he's not a despicable high tier heel, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I think he needs a lot of work. You know what I mean? This match with Jericho, in my opinion, they gave it a B-. It was very slow. It felt drug out. It was, I don't know. I don't know. I just watched it. I didn't feel either way about it. Yeah, I was excited that Jericho won the match and continue wrestling and whatever and whatnot. He finally get that win over MJF, but I don't know. Maybe it was just them two. MJF, I've never really been a real big fan of him. I'm a fan of his character, but I'm not a fan of his wrestling. And I think that's what kind of, I don't know, dude. It's just, I don't know. The match was okay. It was okay. And that's all I can really say about that match. You know what I'm saying? But Jericho made him tap. And that was the end of that. So on to the next match. And I got CM Punk and Darby Allin. Probably what a lot of people would have thought was the match of the night. Now, given that this was CM Punk's first match back, I could see what the deal was with him taking it easy, whatnot, getting the feel to be back in the ring after so long, being out of the ring for so long. You know what I'm saying? 7 years, saying that Darby was a hell of a person to choose to come back and get with, because Darby is explosively fast. You know what I'm saying? And like we've been watching him for a while. We can see what Darby is about. I don't think CM Punk was ready for where Darby Allin truly was, but nonetheless, he did pick up the victory. And it was at one point I thought CM Punk was really hurt, and you could see him at the end of the match. He was limping when he went for that avalanche back suplex, and Darby spun out of it and landed across his hips area. I thought he hurt himself really bad right there, but it was good to see CM Punk back in the ring. And it was good. It was different seeing him in his wrestling attire with me in pants and whatnot, but it held true to his character with the stars and the stripe on it and whatever. And he looked good last night, and it's only going to get better. Once he get back into the flow of being out there and whatever, we'll get to see that old CM Punk, or so glimpses of that old CM Punk, because he is older. He is slower. You know what I'm saying? But he looked good last night, and I enjoyed the match. I give it a B+. You know what I mean? It didn't go on as long as I thought it would have. It didn't feel like a Darby Allin match. You know what I'm saying? Darby Allin, he won't stay down. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him get just absolutely obliterated. Lest we forget the matches he's had with Brian Cage, and bigger superstars, any other superstars. He puts it all out there. In this match, I felt that it was just, like I said, CM Punk's first match back. Let's just go out there and give him what we can and whatnot, and get used to it, get used to moving around the ring again and whatnot. I think another a CM Punk in a match against somebody that's not Darby Allin, somebody that's more on his level at this time, or somebody that can wrestle alongside him. Because, like I say, Darby Allin has a different style of wrestling in that ring. He throws it to the wind. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, last night was a good match between the both of them. CM Punk picked up the victory after a go to sleep, and yeah, shook hands with Sting, shook hands with Darby, and it's a good match. Let's move on. You know what I mean? So this next match was pretty much like a cool down match after CM Punk match. You know what I'm saying? Paul White versus QT Marshall. I wouldn't even grade it, honestly. You know what I mean? If I had to grade, if you want me to grade it, I would have just, C- is right where it's at. I mean, maybe a D+. You know what I mean? Because all that build that they had going into this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then the not paying off the whole Billy Gunn situation right before the pay-per-view was kind of, whatever. It felt like just like Paul White just wanted to get in there and see. And you can see him moving around that ring. Man, it didn't look, Big Show. It's time to lay it down. Mark Henry said it at the all out fan access thing. He done wrestling. Mark ain't getting back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And I think Paul White need to take a page out of his book, and sit aside, help the people backstage, help the wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Help the show. You good? You know what I'm saying? Your name already got you. People are past the fact that you are here. We know you're here. We don't need to see you in the ring. We don't need you getting hurt trying to compete with this young talent. Even though you picked up the win last night over QT, I didn't think that was needed to happen anyway. If anything, I thought QT Marshall was going to win this for sure. You know what I'm saying? So that was also one that I had lost, a prediction I got wrong. I was expecting QT to win this, being as he was the fresh talent and Big Show wasn't. Paul White wasn't. And that didn't happen like that. So that's how that went down. But then we move on to the AEW World Championship. Now, I will admit, man, I've never been a huge fan of Christian in any form. Christian Cage or Christian in WWE. I find it hard to watch Christian matches back then, even though I enjoy Christian matches for what they are. I enjoy his work with Randy Orton. I enjoy his work with other stars and whatnot. I don't know. Christian, his matches, I don't have a problem watching. I just feel when I'm watching his matches, I'm more like this than anything. And I don't like feeling like that. And last night, I felt like that for a little bit, but toward the end of the match, they start turning it up a notch. I even seen Christian take a few bumps. One that scared the shit out of me is when he went for that spear on Kenny Omega through the table, and he landed on the edge of that table. Bro, I thought that some bitch was in him. But it looked like he just suffered a serious scratch or whatever that he was suffering from and whatnot. And then, like I say, Kenny Omega, I was surprised not knowing who Kenny Omega was before I found out who he was, and still seeing him so much that I'm not sick of him. That's good. Kenny Omega is a great wrestler, one of the best in the world, man. And I'm glad that he came across my feed, and I get to watch him every week on AEW and whatever. And this match was good. B+ good. I was just gonna say, I'd give it a B+. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, that's just because I have a hard time watching Christian matches. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, Christian ended up taking the loss. He got hit with an avalanche one-winged angel and took the loss to Kenny Omega. And then I think they started dogging Christian ass out in the ring after a little while. And then Adam music hits. Immediately, you see on the Titantron, Adam Cole. Shock. And the killer part is, it wasn't really a shock to me. I'm sitting there screaming, I told you. Ain't nowhere else for Adam Cole to really go. He done been in ROH. He done been in he done been in other places that have benefited from his stardom at that time. But he has risen. He is bigger than those places. And he's bigger than Impact. AEW it was either New Japan or AEW. And I think he made the right choice to go to AEW. He fits in and he comes out to the ring. He stands across from the Elite. And then they join the Elite. You know what I'm saying? And even the crowd cheered this. They were cheering him all the way down to the ring. Kicked Jungle Boy's head off. Sent his ass lumped over. And hugged all the Elite. Even the crowd was cheering that. You know what I'm saying? Cool. All of a sudden that they do their little stick in the ring, talk why they together and how they gonna be dominant, which is probably true, which probably ain't a word, it's gonna be true. And then boom, what did we hear? Superman music. Who is it? That's right, this man right here, Bryan Danielson in the flesh. Oh my God, bro. All I needed to see was Bray Wyatt come out of that, hit that later. If Bray would have just hit the ring after all that was said and done, after Bryan Danielson, it came through and put a beating on the Elite for running them all up the ramp. If Bray would have showed up, even if he would have showed up doing Malachi Black segment, you know what I'm saying? It would have been amazing. That's it. Ain't no reason to even look worried about WWE. You got the best wrestlers in the world all coming together right here. The possibilities, the matches that we're about to witness coming up, guys, are going to be just for real, dude. Like, man. Last night, All Out 2021 was magnificent. That was a pay-per-view that I enjoyed greatly. And I appreciate those guys. I appreciate Tony Khan. I appreciate all these dudes. And Tony Khan, dude, I wish I had been in your position to be a fan of wrestling, to actually produce a company that brings together all my favorite wrestlers and then everything I love about wrestling and present it to the people that love it as well. Thank you. This was an amazing night at AEW last night. I think let's tally up. So, Best Friends picked up the win. I thought Hardy was going to win, so I was 0-1. 1-1 for Miro. I was 1-2 because I chose Satoshi over Moxley. 2 for 2 because I chose Britt Baker. I knew that was going to happen. 3 for 2 because I chose the Lucha Bros to go home with it. 3 for 3 because I chose Thunder Rosa. Chris Jericho, I was 4 for 3 because I chose Jericho. CM Punk, I was 5 for 3. And QT Marshall, so I was 4 for 5. I was 5 for 4 at this moment, and then I chose Omega was gonna beat Christian, and then I was 6 for 4. So I got more right than I got, you know what I'm saying, wrong. That's always good. It was an amazing night nonetheless, and yeah, we know now where the landscape, how the landscape has changed at AEW. Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Malachi Black, Andrade. But guys, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you thought last night of AEW's All Out pay-per-view and what you think will happen this Wednesday and going forward in AEW. Where does the company stand? Do you think that Vince McMahon is worried about AEW now, considering that he basically had to put together a meeting this morning to address what happened last night? I'm sorry. You can think of this as a piss ant company now. You can't do that anymore. You can't think, man, I'll take that. I'm tripping. I'm excited. You can't think of them as a piss ant company not anymore, Triple H. They're not a piss ant company. This is a company to be reckoned with, considering that y'all out here making budget cuts in the back. And you know what? That's a video for a whole another video where I want to talk about the more recent firings and budget cuts that WWE are making. Y'all scared. Y'all are scared, and you should be. Yeah, you can say you're not as scared. You may not be as scared as I'd like you to be, but y'all worry. Y'all worry. Guys, y'all have a good day. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Practice social distancing. And take it easy. Happy Labor Day. Peace.